Welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. Whether you're watching us live at sktrading.live or listening on your favorite podcast platform, we've got you covered. Subscribe, join the community, and get ready to dive into real talk and real market insights. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephen Kalayjian and welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Well, I wore the right shirt for today, right? We had 9 days up, 2 days down, 2 days up, but at the end of the day, the S&P futures dropped from the 57.30 all the way down to 56.83. They got absolutely kabooshed at the end of the day. There was a monster sell program of about 2.5 billion shares, $2.5 billion to sell on the bell. Now, I'm going to say this. There were some really phenomenal patterns. We caught some really great shorts at the end of the day in Apple, NVIDIA, the spiders, the Qs. Because once those MACDs started going negative on the 15-minute time frames and you got the overbought condition into that was a key level for me to really look for shorts. Avago dropped over 3. Meta dropped, I think, 7 and 8. Apple dropped 2. Microsoft kabooshed, went from 42 down to 38. AMD, Amazon dropped over 2. We saw the IWMs drop about $1, a little over $1. The Dow dropped close to about 270 in literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars in 40 minutes. So, what happened was today, the president spoke about a big alignment with the UK, and he said, I'd be buying stocks. The market just completely exploded on that. We faded that, a couple of times. Once those MACDs went negative on the 5-minute time frames, that was it. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Also, the 60-minute time frames reversed to buy. I believe it was around noon. And then I said, you got to look for the first pullback on the S&Ps on the 15-minute time frame. And it happened around 145.2. They ran all the way up from I would say they ran about 20 points, so about $2. The Qs ran about 2 as well. Really, really great patterns as well. Lilly, really ugly today. Lilly closed down 25. At the end of the day, the 30-minute time frames really kicked in here on Lilly. Really got absolutely kabooshed at the end of the day in Lilly, and I'll show you that, as well. The market right now, we've been in this range from the 4,800 all the way up to the 6,100 range. And then recently we've been in the 5,100 all the way up to the 5,700, almost 5,800 range in the last couple within the last 2 weeks here. The one thing I will tell you, excuse me, is that, the economy, the GDP numbers slowing up. The Fed's not looking like they're going to cut interest rates. Maybe not in June here. Powell's worried about inflation coming from the tariffs. I don't know. It hasn't trickled down yet. Most of the people in the Fed, let me take some water, are Biden appointees anyway. So they're not really going to look to appease the president who wants lower interest rates here. So this is all politics and a lot of nonsense going on there. All right. All right. So today I want to show you when the markets were making new highs here. Well, first of all, this is the weekly chart. And I wanted to start with this. I'm sorry. Got distracted there for a minute. If you see the weekly chart looking like this is a monster bear flag. You're getting overbought into the negative MACD. It's going right into the 10-bar moving average. This is a really big catalyst for, in my opinion, a pretty big drop. If you look at the daily, okay, here's another gap that happened. This gap's believe got filled yet right here. Here's a gap here, and here's another gap all the way down. There's more gaps to the downside okay, there's more gaps to the downside than more gaps to the upside, okay, in my opinion. If you look here on the dailies, okay, you can see here. So I believe that there are more gaps, all right, on the downside here than on the upside. So again, what I'm expecting is one more push up on the daily here, all right, to get these dailies probably turning up here. Maybe we get a push up to the 57.80, 58.50, 58.80, something like that. And then I think that weekly is going to come in and kaboosh the market. I really do. I really do. I really think that's going to happen here. All right. I also want to show you the monthly here on the spiders. The monthly is starting to turn up here, but this negative MACD here is going to be a problem. All right. Now you can see all the overhead resistance here that the market's going to have here. So I think with the overhead resistance above the market on the monthly and the weekly, combined with that weekly pattern, I believe that the market may get one more push up, and then I think, which probably happens sometime between mid-May and June, early June, and then I think they kaboosh them. I don't know if we're going to make new lows for the year. I think those gaps will get filled down to 51.30 before we go back up. So, it's always something out of left field that could trigger it, okay? And also, the president announced today, which got the market to give a spike around 315, that the tariffs with China most likely going to come down to about 50% from 145%. Either way, the market just got kabooshed. They were trading above the 57.30 level. We had some really good shorts and a lot of good names. Again, the MACDs on the 15-minute time frame told the story right here. You can see the negative MACDs here pushing up right there. And you can see on NVIDIA, Apple, throw a dart, Palantir, everything got kabooshed at the end of the day. AMD dropped too, like I said, Amazon too. So a lot of names got kabooshed here as well. Also, Coinbase dropped about 3. MSTR was very, very strong today, up over 22 points. Actually, was trading above 423, and that pattern on MSTR, and I'll bring it up here and I'll show it to you, was a really great short on MSTR here. Also, let's see, MSTR right here was the new high right here. 422 was like here, 423. You see, when these MACDs turn negative, you do really want to short the market. All right. I do take shorts when they get extreme overbought conditions for a scalp short. But once these MACDs made new highs here, once these price made new highs and the MACDs are non-confirmed, you can see what MSTR did. Boom, down about, look at that, almost 5 points right there. Okay, from here, look at this. 23, was it the 23.11? Boom, got another push up, and then you can see it just got absolutely, at the end of the day, just dropped from the highs. It dropped about 9 points, but some really good trading also. A lot of good trading on the off the 15 and 30-minute time frames. But if you look here for tomorrow, look at the 30-minute time frame. This 30-minute time frame should get maybe one more push up on MSTR. And then you look at the daily here, the daily, you see the push down here into the positive MACD, 377, and it ran about 50 points here. So I'm expecting one more push up on MSTR to an overbought condition, and then I say let them have them. If you look at Bitcoin, BTC USD, you can see Bitcoin. I'll show you Bitcoin here. So many things I want to show you. Look at Bitcoin. This is the pullback in Bitcoin right here. Got down to below the 93,500, and you can see the push up. Again, the algorithm reversed the buy, the positive MACD, the oversold condition, and you can see the push up in Bitcoin of about 8,000 points there. Now, again, if you look here on the weekly on Bitcoin, you can see this is a monster bear flag. Bitcoin is very close to making new highs, and these MACDs are non-confirming on the weekly. The monthly's okay, all right? But look at this Bitcoin, all right? This weekly is going to give, I think, the market fits along the way here, all right? Let me show you Avago at the end of the day, making new highs here. Right here, Avago, look at this, the 211 mark. The MACDs are non-confirming. Again, what you really want on these overbought conditions, when the 15-minute time frame and the 5-minute time frames get overbought and they're making new highs here, you can see here the MACDs are non-confirmed. NVIDIA, another one, made new highs here. Look at this NVIDIA. I called up short beautifully above the 118.5. Look at this NVIDIA, non-confirmation on the 5 and the 15-minute time frame. And look what happened with NVIDIA. Dropped more than $1.30 at the end of the day. A perfect, beautiful short at 3 o'clock. Coinbase, also Palantir. Let me show you Palantir here today, which was a beast. All right, another one at the end of the day, pushing up to new highs here. Short of this, beautifully above the 120.20 area. You can see Palantir dropped. The MACDs non-confirming on the 5 and the 15. You can see the negative MACDs. But this was a great pattern here on Palantir. Okay, so Palantir on this pattern right here on the 15 is the first pullback. And I'm going to show you, this is exactly the pullback that happened on the overall market. So Palantir reversed to buy at around on the 60-minute time frame. I think it was around 11. I'll bring it up. Let me see here. The 60-minute. Okay, the 60-minute reversed to buy right here at 10:30. So basically, this pattern right here, this little pattern, you see the oscillator. When it got down here, the oscillator was down about 50. Oversold into the positive MACD, rising ADX, big buying pressure, and Palantir exploded about $4. Actually, more than that, actually. 16, yeah, about 4. Okay, then you get the pullback on the 15-minute time frame, which is the first pullback on the 15-minute time frame after the 60-minute time frame correlated. Okay, after the 60-minute time frame correlated. So when you see that right there, okay, look what Palantir did. It got down to I would think we were buying this below 1860, 1850. Look what Palantir did. Boom. Okay, ran about $1.50. Okay, a little higher. And then once these MACDs turned negative, I knew that the new highs were shorts. Here was the high, 120.25. Okay. Actually, 120.38 was a high prior. And then here again, 120.35. This was the high, so it didn't make a new high actually here. I thought it did, but anyway, I was shorting these. Pushes, this bounce above the 120.20 level, 120.30 level. All right, gold absolutely cabooshed today. Absolutely cabooshed. The pattern on the gold, the GLDs were negative all day long. 60-minute time frame, boom, from yesterday, right? Today's the 8th. The 30 minutes negative, the 15's negative, right? What do you look to do? Look at the negative MACDs. You short the bounces on the 15 right here. The gold dropped from the 33.14 all the way down to the 32.92 level, 93 level. So gold dropped about 23 points off this 15-minute time frame. But this is the key. If you look at gold futures right here, gold futures reversed to sell right here at around 11:45, and it correlated with the 15, 30, and the 60-minute time frame on the GLDs. An absolute Picasso, right? So what you look to do, you short the first bounce on the 5-minute, and I'll show it to you right here. Here's the first bounce on the 5-minute. You can see right here. This is the short right here at on the fifth. Where is this thing here? Sorry. Let me go back. Here it is. Here's a short here at 11:45, and then you can see that you wait for the first bounce at 11:45. This is the bear flag right here. Gold 33.21. Boom, kabooshed, $17. Rallies again right here. Okay, 16. And then that pattern right there set up the 15-minute time frame right here, the 16-14 range right here. And you can see gold got absolutely slaughtered on that pattern. When you see these negative MACDs like this and you're getting overbought on the 5-minute time frames and they're just hovering like this, that's a bear flag. Negative MACDs, ADXs are rising on the 15.5 and the GLDs are rising on the 15.30 and the 60-minute time frame. You look to short the bounce after the 15-minute time frame reverses the sell. So it goes in sequence. 15 reverses the sell. It correlates with the 15.30 and 60 on the GLDs on the futures market. You short the first bounce on the 5 and the second bounce on the 15-minute time frame. All right. Beautiful patterns today here. Okay. So tomorrow, because of this decline, most of these stocks are going to reverse the sell on the 15-minute time frames. Okay, which is okay. All right. The spiders, the Qs, the diamonds will reverse the sell here. Let's see. Microsoft, Meta, Avago will reverse to sell. But the bigger time frames, the 30 and the 60-minute time frames, are still bullish. So in order for the spiders to reverse to sell, they need to drop probably 55 points. So the S&Ps would need to close below 56.35. And I'll get to that in the second segment of today's show. All right. But a lot of great patterns today. NVIDIA had some really great longs, 2 great longs on the 15, 1 great short with the negative MACD on the 15. Really great patterns on NVIDIA. Also, Tesla, monster day in Tesla. Let me show you Tesla here. This, to me, Tesla's Microsoft and Tesla, to me, are one of the best stocks on the board. Okay, you can see here, Microsoft, Tesla, Tesla reversed to buy on the 30 and 60-minute time frame. Around 11:30, Tesla reversed to buy on the 60-minute time frame, and you knew right after that it was off to the races right here. You can see Tesla 11:30, and then you can see what happens is you buy the first pullback on the 5-minute time frame, and this is it right here. This is one of the first. This is the first pullback right here. But then look what Tesla got oversold on the 15. So this is the first pullback on the 15-minute time frame on Tesla after the 60-minute correlated with the 30 and the 15. Look what Tesla did. It ran about $7 on that, off that oversold condition. Tesla, you can see the low here. Was it the low here? It was 385 was that one right there. Oh, this is the first pullback right here. And then this is the pullback after the 60 reverse to buy 86 all the way up to 89. So ran about $2.50. And then when Tesla was pushing up here near the highs, you can see the high here was 289.80 and 289.79. I was shorting Tesla above 289 to 291. I said I would look to short, and look what Tesla did. Got absolutely kabooshed. Again, overbought into the negative MACDs here. I mean, the price was pushing up into the negative MACDs. It wasn't overbought, but also there was 2.4 billion shares, $2.4 billion to sell on the bell. So I was just betting right that the market was going to get kabooshed, and it did. Normally, when there's to buy, Tesla will run $3 to $5. Today, it was 2.4 billion to sell, and it got absolutely kabooshed. Beautiful, beautiful short in Tesla. So many people at the end of the day did very well, buying puts on the market, shorting Apple, NVIDIA, Meta, Microsoft. Beautiful patterns here. The diamonds, I said I would short. The diamonds were trading 416.80. I said look to short about 416.50. Up one, I would look to short. INOQ is going to be a really great stock to trade. Had good earnings. Stock was up about 7%, over 7.5%. Another great stock. Be looking for pullbacks on that. But so many great patterns today here. And I want to show you when the S&Ps were making new highs at one point today. I want to bring this up to you and show you the importance of the 60-minute time frames, okay? If I bring up the 60-minute time frame, you can see when we were making new highs, when the S&Ps were trading 57.41. There's a little tidbit here I need to show you, okay? First of all, the algorithm reversed to buy on the index futures when the MACDs are above the pivot on the 15, 30, and 60, okay? And this is why I called a short, and then I was looking for a pullback on the 15, and we got that between 130 and 140, and around 130, 145, 2 o'clock time period on the oversold condition right here, okay? S&Ps traded down to 11, and they pushed up to 28. So they ran about 17 on that pattern, right? That was the first pullback on the 15 after the 60 correlated. So watch. You can see there's two divergences here. One, the algorithm reverses the buy when the MACDs are above the pivot on the 15, 30, and 60-minute time frame. That's a sell divergence based upon a strategy that I wrote, okay? Second, you're making new highs. The MACD did not confirm on the 60-minute time frame right here. You see that? You could look at the 30-minute time frame. Okay? MACD didn't confirm either on the 30. You can see it right here. Okay? MACD didn't confirm on the 30. Now watch this. If I change the symbol to the spiders, okay, you can see right here. All right? You can see right here on the 60. Right? You're making new highs. The algorithm reversed to buy when the MACDs are above the pivot on the 15, 30, and hourly. You tell me, did that MACD make a new high here? Absolutely not. If I leave that horizontal line here like that, I don't know what happened to it. This trade station can drive me crazy sometimes, right? If you look right there, that MACD did not confirm the high. You can see it. So you had nothing but sell divergences on the new highs today, or for the bigger time frames, both on the continuous contract and the underlying ETF. An absolute Picasso. But the Picasso of the day was when the 15 got deeply oversold. It was a first pullback. We ran 17. And then at the end of the day, when they were pushing up into those negative MACDs, with about $2.4 billion to sell on the close. The Qs were trading. I think we were shorting the Qs above 492. I think the high was like 492 and a half. They closed at 488.23. Okay. Monster day here. My community of traders from all around. I'm so proud of them. And it just gives me such great joy that everyone in my community works with each other, helps each other, and more so, really is part of just wanting to be part of the experience, to get better each and every day, and to be able to really knock the ball out of the park. That's all I ask for, consistency, and that's that. All right. Okay, when I get back, I will tell you what I expect for tomorrow. Okay, so for tomorrow, there is no economic numbers at 8:30 and or 10 a.m. We do have, I think, 5 or 6 Fed governors speaking. Why? I have no idea. All right. But for tomorrow, what I'm looking for is to see, are we going to get an oversold condition on the 30-minute time frames and the 60-minute time frames? And is this going to be something that's going to be a catalyst where we're going to get one more push up? Normally, when the 60s reverse to buy, they don't normally reverse to sell. Now, there's no 8:30 number coming out tomorrow, right? So, so basically, I think the 60-minute time frame should hold, giving the cushion here. We're going to go negative on the 15-minute time frames on the opening on a lot of these ETFs, the spiders, the diamonds, the Qs, okay? And also, like I said, Meta, Microsoft will, Apple's inches away. Avago is okay. MSTR is inches away. So if we get these sell reversals and we get deep oversold conditions and those 30-minute time frames hold, most likely you're going to get a bounce. All right. But it's going to take an awful amount of buying power, especially with those negative MACDs on the 15-minute time frame, that you're going to get a. So I'm kind of bearish on any overbought condition on the 15s tomorrow if these 15s reverse. Now you're going to get buy reversals tomorrow also on the STSs and SQQQs at 9:30 on the opening. So I'll probably look, once you get an oversold condition on that, as a bounce to look to get short. But I think the real bounce is going to be when the 15-minute time frames get overbought into those negative MACDs. And that is something I will tell you that I think can be pretty significant. Now, it looks like Coinbase might have reported here. It's down. It looks like it's down about $5 here after the market right now. Close at 206.50. Coinbase is now at 201.50. So it's moving around here, down about 5 here. All right. So basically that's it. We're gonna, tomorrow being Friday, I always say Fridays are slow. Well, the last 6 Fridays they haven't been. So I think what we're gonna look for tomorrow is to see any deep oversold conditions on the 15s, as long as these 30-minute time frames are still intact. Look for a push up, and then on any overbought condition on the 15s, I probably look for shorts against the negative MACDs. These 60-minute time frames are still rolling over, which means, I don't think we're going to make new high. I don't think we're going to touch the highs of today. It's probably, I would say, 60-40. We won't touch the highs of today, which was 57.41. I don't think that's going to happen. NASDAQ was about what? 20,000, almost 360, I think, or something like that. So I don't think the highs are going to be touched tomorrow. Now, I could be wrong. A tweak could come out here or that, but basically from what I'm seeing, I don't see it. All right. Also, the MACDs, even if they did push up, those 60-minute MACDs are nowhere near looking like they're going to make new highs from the prior week and a half. All right. So for tomorrow, if they get oversold on the deep oversold on the 15s, I may look to buy them against the 30 and 60. And if we do get a push up, then I would probably look to fade the market on any overbought condition on the 15-minute time frame. Now, the 30-minute and the 60-minute MACDs are positive, so this would be a trade against the 15-minute time frame. All right, when I get back, I want to just share some insight with you that I think is really important. All right, so today the markets were trading higher, and then boom, they dropped, kabooshed. They dropped like 17, 18 points on the S&P. MSTR was trading, I think, 415.80, and then it dropped down to 411.60. When you have, and you're trading a stock, it's important, especially if you're going to be in the world of day trading the market, it is important to put bids in the market. So if I called a short range on MSTR, whatever it was, 12.5 to 16.5, 11.5 up to 15.5 range, and you're short, and your average price, just say, is like 13.5, whatever. In my opinion, you need to have bids out there, right? So we got this drop, and this happened like a couple of weeks ago. I remember the S&Ps were trading like, 05, 56.05, 57.05. Boom, they dropped down to 56.90 and then ricocheted right back up. And the people I talked to prior had bids in all the way down. So what happened was they pushed down, the person didn't cover the short, ended up buying it higher. And I think what's really important is when you see the markets doing what they're doing, especially the volatility, it's always good to have bids in the market, okay? And it's really good to have that, practice. If you're short, have some bids in below, just in case of anything happening, a news event. You always have to have your stops in place. Remember that, right? And then look to see what happened or put bids in. I think it's really, really, really super important. And I think that's a really good catalyst to learn because it happened so fast. When I said to the person, he said, I couldn't get it, and it shot right back up. I remember the time, too, when it happened. It was like around I think it was around, what time was that here? It was somewhere between 1 and 2, but it dropped and then it ricocheted right back up. And then, for me, it's important because you want to be able to have your orders in. Oh, here it was. It was 11:35. I apologize. Okay. Stock was trading around the 14, 15 range. It dropped all the way down to a 411.45. And so it's important to have, and never saw that price again, believe it or not, right? It's important to have your bids in there, okay? And just get ready for any type of aberration. All right. With that being said, thank you for joining me here tonight on the bull, the bear, and the ugly. 9 days up, 2 days down, 2 days up. All right. A lot of volatility today. Great day for trading. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please leave a comment. Also, please follow me on social at official Stephen Kalayjian on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Please join my community of traders from all around the world at sktrading.live. And also, if you'd like to text me, my number is 914-500-7484. So I wore the right shirt today, kaboom, and we got kabooshed at the end of the day, but still up on the day. S&P's up 36, NASDAQ up over 200. Have a great day, everybody. God bless you. And more importantly, God bless the United States of America. Be well.
Thanks for tuning in to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe at sktrading.live or on your favorite podcast platform. We'd love for you to rate, review, and join our community for more real talk and market insights. Until next time, keep trading and stay sharp.